Senator, let's start with the news of the day. You were in there in the confirmation hearing. It got a little testy. Let's start really zoomed out. What are your concerns with his nomination?
Well, besides the fact he just wasn't truthful, something basic. Would you meet with the survivors who have been, by him, re-traumatized because he released their personal information, their phone numbers, their addresses, images of them, while he was careful to redact the information of very powerful people? Meet with them. He said no, he would not. He could not, he said, which is a lie. The law does not bar the Attorney General from meeting with victims of this crime, but he would meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. And then after that meeting, she got rewarded by being moved to a facility that does not hold sex offenders, that is more like a camp than it is a prison. And so this is the problem, is he is not doing and serving justice. He is serving the powerful people like the president.
Do you think that there are enough Republican senators that agree with you that it might kill his nomination?
There's signs of hope, perhaps with Tillis or Cornyn. They're liberated from re-election and they've been speaking out more fairly and more objectively, but I still don't know if that's enough. So I think the hearing was important to bring forward all these things, to lay them plain before my colleagues, the things that he was not speaking truth to, the contradictions, the failure to answer straight questions. I'm hoping that's enough to show that he is not a servant of our justice system, but the servant of a president who has proven over and over again that he is willing to subvert the law for his own personal gain.
I guess I was thinking about this morning. I mean, if you guys reject him, he could just continue on as the acting AG. So in some ways, why does this process matter?
Well, he cannot stay past a certain period as an acting AG. He has to be confirmed. It matters also because, again, what's getting subverted in these last year or so is what our Constitution states. And I'm not saying that willy-nilly. Like, war powers lie with Congress, not with the president, but yet we're in the 6th month of the president's war in Iran. Spending powers lie with our office, yet we see a president deciding which states are going to get FEMA relief money and which are not. You see a president continuing to erode our Constitution. But one of the most important principles we have is advise and consent. He can't just put whoever he wants in whatever job. We're supposed to be loyal to that ideal. And so this is one of those moments where is Congress going to step up and do their job? Is this going to be about the people, about the parties? Is it going to be about Trump or the truth? Is it going to be about the Constitution or continued corruption? And it's very important for history to know where we stand on this.
I want to ask just one more question. You spoke about the Epstein files, but as far as the other issues, for example, the prosecutions of Jim Comey, Letitia James, I mean, what are your? He said that the anti-weaponization fund, for example, was gone. Is that enough? Where?
Yeah, there's so many areas of his tenure in the Department of Justice that demonstrate his lack of fitness for this job, but his danger too. To use the law as a sword against Trump's perceived enemies is outrageous. You heard people coming out on the left and the right when he went after Comey. In my city, he went after and literally arrested my mayor. The judge threw it out of court and called him out. So we're seeing him do things that are beyond the pale and obvious that he's using the law to persecute Donald Trump's people and taxpayer resources that should be going to put drug traffickers in jail, to protect us from child sex trafficking and more. So I'm very concerned about a lot of things about this man, including, and most Americans don't know this, they have to approve mergers. And what I pointed out in my testimony is this is a guy that's literally out dining with very powerful people who have matters before him. That is beyond the pale when it comes to the appearance of impropriety. I would call that impropriety. I would call that corruption.
I'm going to change gears drastically, just real quick, to talk about the ICE shootings that we just saw in Maine and before that in Texas. How concerned are you with the ICE operations happening right now? And then also I want to ask specifically about the body cameras, the fact that $20 million was allocated.
I mean, remember how much money Congress has shoveled towards ICE. Literally over $100 billion. And this is more money ICE has now than the combination of the ATF, the FBI, the Coast Guard. It is most of our law enforcement agencies combined don't have as much as Donald Trump now has for immigration enforcement. And what are they doing with all that money? Systems of accountability, body cameras, anything that would make sure that our tax dollars are being spent right? No. What we're seeing is a reckless, out of control agency that believes they're above the law, that has murdered yet again another 2 people. and we're not getting the kind of independent investigations that we should be getting. So we are in a crisis, and again, democracy is on the line. Powerful people in a democracy are supposed to be accountable and transparent. But today we're not holding any hearings to look into 2 people being murdered, 2 parents of American children. This is astounding to me that we're not doing our job of checks and balances and that this agency's out of control. And think about this, Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen froze ICE doing traffic stops pending investigation. And Donald Trump just moments ago said, nope, go back to doing traffic stops. So even the modicum of restraint that we're getting from anybody in the Trump administration is being overruled by the president himself that wants to continue to have a nation where unmarked cars pull over people, men in unmarked uniforms come out and shoot through windshields to kill people who are guilty of no crimes.
Very briefly, I'm just going to ask one question and then make way for Kelly.
Yes.
Lindsey Graham just passed away. Is there any thoughts you could share? I saw you call him an unlikely friend, I believe it was, in some
Yes.
other interviews. I mean, what does that say about the state of bipartisanship? It's rare these days.
Look, nobody did I bang heads with more than Lindsey Graham, and from very public ways. We disagreed on so many things, but this is the thing about Lindsey. We could be on the battleground and fight like hell, but he still would look you in the eye and say, well, let's find common ground. I may disagree with you 99.9% of the time, but Cory Booker, I'm going to find that 0.1% and we're going to get a bill done on that. And so that was the power of Lindsey Graham. I can tell you up and down the things that enraged me about him, but the one thing that made him my friend was that we got big things done together through our unlikely partnerships. And when it comes to the state of bipartisanship, dear God, I hope that spirit can be revived. I, for one, will continue to be someone that believes now in the Senate that you can stand your ground and still find common ground.